How to shit. This and much more you know from birth. You can find the solution in your mind, learned by trial and errors, and the question of our video is open-ended. While videos about drugs and scandalous videos of star gaining popularity, we will talk about the most important thing which people are remaining silent about. How to wipe your ass. How much toilet paper do I need to tear up?
If you need instruction on how to wipe your ass, I mean, it's not necessarily rocket science. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you think about in your life, when was the first time you learned to do something? When was the first time you learned to dress yourself? When was the first time you learned to bathe? When was the first time you learned to tie your shoes, to brush your teeth? It's probably things that your parents taught you over time, correct? Slowly but surely. Most of these things now they're so commonplace for us, we don't think about them when we do them. We just do them. They've become such a daily routine for us that it's not something that you would actively think about, correct? So, how do you wipe your butt? I mean, most of us you take toilet paper, you either fold it or ball it up, you go back there, you wipe, you double check, you do we all have our own techniques, right? Like for me, once I wipe, I have to do like a wipe check. You wipe repeatedly till you see that there's no more coming off and you know now you're clean, correct? You don't just wipe once, assume you're good and you're done and walk away. You see what I mean? But a lot of people, there's all these different techniques and everyone has a way that they figure out how to do it, correct? And everyone probably has. It was funny. Here's a funny thing. I almost guarantee you, if you were to have a room with 10 people in it, okay, and you just coldly asked all of them, now they're not together, they're all isolated, they're interviewed. If you asked 10 people in a row, how do you wipe your butt, actually write step-by-step instructions, half of them would not even be able to do it properly because it's a thing you do. You don't describe it, you don't write it, you just do it. It's an instinct, a physical instinct that you now memorize, this pattern, correct? And in addition, I guarantee you every person would tell you a completely different thing because everyone just kind of has a method that they fall into for common things like that. And it's not necessarily equivalent, it's just we all do it, right? So, it's funny because this is a video, how to wipe your butt. I guarantee you, what this video says is not what a lot of people do. Let's just briefly see. I don't know if we want to watch the whole thing, but let's see.
It depends on what kind of shit you have. Or it's hard like stalagmite or diarrhea. In the first case, probably you will not even have a stain on your toilet paper, but in the second one, you will probably not wash out your fingers and they will sting even after the second time you're washing them. We need to find a balance. Do I need to crumble that or hold it into several pieces? It's highly likely that you use 2-ply toilet paper, folded twice using 2 tear-off sheets. Yes, there are a lot of like us, but there are crazy weirdos who's using 4 or 6 tear-off sheets at once, crumbed it up, and wipe their ass. I have tested this method and I have one thing to say. If you're not skilled enough, then probably you will find a shit under your nails and on your fingers.
As shit. I will say this. I am not a fan of the crumple technique. The crumple technique, essentially, you don't know exactly what you have in your hand, and because it's random rather than intended. Like, for example, if you're folding toilet paper and you have a folded piece, you know exactly the size, how much surface area you're working with, right? When you have a crumpled paper, I'm just going to do this. Crumple, shove it in my butt. You don't know. There's things sticking out. There's edges. They could get dirty. And now that might spread. You know what I'm saying? It could spread the disgustingness all over your butt. You basically need a fold. I can't imagine that people just literally grab a giant handful of toilet paper, like a ball sticking all over the place, and then shove it up their butt. I wouldn't do that at all. I do the fold method for sure. You gotta have a set surface area so you know what you're working with, so you know that you can properly clean. That's my take.
The risk isn't worth it. Which side should I wipe my ass from? Front or back? And many people say that from the front, this is very unhygienical because you can touch accidentally your genitals. But from the back, it's also very uncomfortable, you know? So we have to find a canonical way to solve this problem. So I think the better way is to wipe it from the behind. And what if the ass is hairy? You know, with a smooth ass.
What if the ass is hairy? Well, then you're probably not human. You don't have to deal with it, right? Yeah, animals don't care about wiping their ass, right? Animals lick their ass. They use their tongue. They don't give a shit, right? They don't give a shit about shit. They just lick it. Anyway, so people are now disgusted. They want me to skip this. All right, let's see the next video.